Tennessee Titans and the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is the Titans by point. They are favored by 1 all the way to 2 at this one. So you can find a 1.5 as well in there. 42.5, another low total game. The Titans did get Julio Jones back last week, so they are at least somewhat on the mend. They opened the window for Bud Dupree to be activated as well. I don't know if they will do that before this game this week, but just another guy, another person that they could kind of get back to help along the way. AJ Brown is expected back next week, I believe is the word for this Titans team. So maybe they look a little bit more like the Titans team earlier on in the season here over the next couple of weeks. The Steelers, we know what we're getting in the Steelers. We know what they're all about. Steven, there are people who've been advocating for a Steelers teaser leg. Look, I was looking for dance partners, as many as I could find for that Dolphins leg earlier on in the week. Mm-hmm. So I did put one in there for the Steelers up to 8.5 to pair with that one with the Dolphins. Look, I'm getting 8.5 points with the team and a 42.5 total. Typically that fares pretty well. The Titans, firepower has certainly been, without Derrick Henry, without AJ Brown, they do have Julio back now, but man, it's this offense has looked really bad, really clunky. Even this past week, that win wasn't convincing really at all. So I took the 8.5 with the Steelers. This is one of those games I think is lined appropriately. I think these teams are about even. If you look at our power rankings, I have them power ranked about even. So, no real stance here other than maybe taking the home dog up to over a touchdown.
Quick prop thought. Julio Jones had 6 targets last week despite only playing 45% of the snaps. Maybe his snaps increase this week and, we get a lower number here on Julio that isn't accounting for the fact that he played less than half the snaps last week. So something to keep an eye on there. I agree with your sentiments in terms of where these teams are at this point in the season. I did take the teaser leg here. If you can get plus 7.5 or better, it is a pretty cookie cutter teaser leg with, through the 3 and the 7 and a low total. As low as 41 in some spots for the total right now. But yeah, the Tennessee offense just hasn't been good since Derrick Henry went out. They didn't really need it last week, but still 3.8 yards per play against Jacksonville. They're down to 23rd in DVOA, 21st in yards per play. Our senior writer Mo Nawara noted that they're 23rd in EPA since losing Derrick Henry, and 3 of their last 5 games without King Henry, they have less than 5 yards per play. So Ben Roethlisberger is volatile. The Tennessee defense has played well. They've kept them in these games to win these games, but I think that Pittsburgh's struggles recently have been against above average offenses, right? If you look at where they've given up a lot of points, and I don't think the Tennessee Titans fall into that category. So I'm comfortable with the teaser leg.
Brad, I mean, look, it looks like it's been said, Ben Roethlisberger going to go right off into the sunset when this season is over. Finally going to go ahead and face that Father Time has defeated him 3 years ago. But there's what do you make of this Tennessee team and the overall makeup of this Tennessee team? I mean, starting to get a little bit healthier. Does that at all lead you to believe that they will start looking a little bit more like the team we saw at the beginning of the season? Or do you think that team we saw at the beginning of the season was just performing way, way higher over expectation and maybe there's a bunch of smoke and mirrors going on here?
I like the defense. They're the second graded pass defense by DVOA, 9th overall by PFF, 9th in sacks as well. And I especially think against this Steelers offensive line, 30th in pass block win rate, I think they should have some success there, providing they can make Ben hold onto the ball long enough. Then the offensive side, possibly they're a little bit underrated as it stands. So Stephen said they're 23rd in EPA since Derrick Henry went down, but they're 16th in success rate. So, they've had a lot of turnovers in there, which lower those numbers, but the process is still okay. It's middle of the pack. It's not good offense, but it's maybe good enough. Joe Hayden for the Steelers, he's key. That's part of the reason I think they've been torched 2 of the last 3 weeks. He did not practice. He would definitely be one to watch because I think, Julio could have some success there. And I would also say that 16th in success rate, that's probably, there's a couple of games in there with no Julio or AJ Brown. So, maybe they're 14th best in the NFL. So yeah, I would lean Tennessee. I've not bet it. What would the buy point be? I don't know. If the Steelers went favourite and I got some plus money on Tennessee, maybe that's when I'd jump in, yeah.